Hi, I'm Peter Kalmus. I'm a climate scientist at NASA, as always speaking on my own behalf. And this time I want to talk about whether limiting global heating to a mean of 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial temperature of the planet is still possible. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the answer is no. It is no longer possible to prevent the planet from exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius of global heating. First of all, this is the average surface temperature over the entire planet, oceans and land. Land is heating up about twice as fast as the global average. Some regions like the Arctic are heating up even faster than that. And we typically take a running mean. So when we say 1.5 degrees, usually that's about a 10-year time scale that we're talking an average over that period. We might get a year, like maybe next year and a few years, where that 1 year on average is above 1.5 degrees Celsius. Then it might get a little bit cooler than that for a while. And then eventually it's going to be basically above 1.5 degrees Celsius for the rest of our lives. The time I expect the planet to be officially over 1.5 degrees in the long-term average is the early 2030s. We're increasing at about 0.2 of a degree Celsius right now every 10 years, and we're at roughly 1.3 degrees Celsius. So it's 2023, 10 years from now, 1.5 degrees Celsius, that's the early 2030s. It's possible things will go faster than that. That's about how fast things have been heating up on Earth over the past few decades. If we stop this pressure of constantly pumping carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels into the atmosphere, and make no mistake, we are doing that right now as a species faster than we ever have done before. So all of these efforts, electric vehicles, talking about climate change, expanding renewables, it hasn't helped reduce the main cause of the problem, which is burning fossil fuels. If there weren't climate deniers, and if there wasn't a Republican Party, and if Joe Biden wasn't approving the Mountain Valley Pipeline and the Willow Project and drill baby drill on federal land. So if we were all on the same page that stopping climate change was one of humanity's most urgent priorities, we'd end the easy things like luxury yachts, private jets, even general commercial aviation. We would stop a lot of industrial animal agriculture. We'd stop eating cows. That would overnight take away about 15% of the global heating problem. It might still be possible for Earth to stay under 1.5 degrees Celsius of mean global heating. But there's a lot of stuff that would take longer for us to defossil fuelize like the rest of the food system. So I think there's so much inertia in the system. There's 8 billion of us on this planet. We probably would still end up past 1.5 degrees Celsius. But the even bigger problem is we're not all on that same page. And we have the planet's most powerful industries, fossil fuels and finance, pushing as hard as they can to continue expanding fossil fuels, even though things are getting absolutely crazy hot. And the summer of 2023, the off-the-chart sea surface temperatures, the off-the-chart Arctic and Antarctic ice melt, all the crazy disasters in Hawaii and Greece, the wildfires in northern Canada, all the floods. It's been an absolutely insane summer. It's still just the beginning though, and somehow the people in power haven't gotten the wake-up call yet, and they're still expanding fossil fuels as fast as they can. That's why I say really no chance in hell for staying under 1.5 degrees Celsius. We should all be grieving about that. I don't think there's any way we're going to save the Amazon rainforest at this point. Coral reefs, as we know them, are disappearing from our planet. The poorest and most vulnerable people on Earth are going to have an even more difficult time of it in the future as the places where they live become too hot for them to grow food and they have to go elsewhere. So we are in the very early stages of something radically catastrophic that's almost hard to imagine. And yet we should still fight as hard as we can to limit heating to not much beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius. 1.5 degrees is going to be a nightmare for all of us. Things right now are already so much worse than we all thought they would be. 1.5 degrees Celsius is going to be even worse, but 2 degrees Celsius would just be unimaginably catastrophic. So we have to fight as hard as we can together to minimize that maximum temperature and the damage from it.
Undeniable